This new moon solar eclipse in Libra is the last eclipse of 2024. Hey y'all, I'm Jasmeen, the owner of House of Chiron Astrology and Reiki, and I make the language of astrology digestible for all of y'all. So welcome to my channel, welcome in. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, but welcome here. This is the place where we do all things astrology, healing, mental health, and Reiki, all the things, right? So welcome in, but if you are returning, hello family, welcome back. We are going to be doing things a little different because we are embarking on the month of October, and for the month of October, I'm not going to be doing so many lives because just life is lifing, right? So also this eclipse is happening at the very beginning of the month, and this is when I typically put out the Galactic Gossip monthly report. So we're going to do a video only for this one right now. So with that being said, let's dive right on in. I have my notes pulled up, so if you see me going back and forth, it is because I'm making sure I don't forget anything, because this eclipse is going to be a pretty big one. All right, so starting off, we have this eclipse happening at 10 degrees in the sign of Libra. It is a solar eclipse. It is happening at about 1:45 in the afternoon Central Time. So do the calculations for wherever you are in the world. It's going to be making a couple of aspects. So it's going to be conjunct Mercury, the Sun, and Lilith. It's going to be making a square to Mars that is currently in the sign of Cancer. And at this time that Mars is in the sign of Cancer, is entering its pre-shadow phase, because Mars will then station retrograde later on. We'll get into that later on in a couple of months or so. Also, it's going to be making a grand trine. So that's basically a triangle is what it looks like in the astrology. But it's a grand trine, and that's happening with Venus, that's in Scorpio, Mars, that is also in Cancer, and then Saturn, that's in Pisces. So it's making a grand trine to all of the water energy. Well, it's not making it to it, but that's just what's present at the same time that this eclipse is happening. So that being said, let's get into it. What does all this mean, right? So what does it mean? First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about Libra, right? So it's happening in Libra, and Libra has a lot to do with diplomacy. It has a lot to do with fairness and order and bringing things back into balance, right? Weighing the scales, where one aspect of life has been, given so much more emphasis rather than the other one. Libra season comes around and it helps us to recalibrate things. So Libra happens at the time of the autumn equinox, and that's when we have equal parts of day and night. And so it's very much so on brand with the scale energy, with the balancing things out, bringing back harmony and balance into all things, all areas of our life. And in particular, it has a lot to do with where Libra is happening in your individual chart, right? So we all know that every house placement represents a different area of our life. And so whatever house in your chart Libra occupies, that's how it affects that area of your life, where you need balance, you need fairness, you need order, you need to have beauty and all the things in that area of your life. Okay, so this is a new moon. Okay, and it's a solar eclipse, so that is a new moon, and new moons are a time of new beginnings. But instead of us setting intentions with this new moon energy, it is more so to be focused on what is fated and what is karmic, because it's an eclipse. Eclipses are happening on the ecliptic, right? So they happen where those nodes are. And right now we have the nodes in Aries and Libra. So this is going to be affecting those nodes, right? So getting into a little bit about what the nodes are. So the North Node is more so about what we are setting to devour, what we are setting to conquer, and a shift in the collective consciousness of where we're going. And currently the North Node is in Aries, and Aries has a lot to do with our individual self, the things that are affecting us on a personal level. It's about putting yourself first. It's about confidence and, a courageous spirit. It's about what is it that you're fighting for. It's about your energy. It's all of those things, right? And so when you think about the South Node is the opposite of that. It's the thing that you're most comfortable with, right? And the thing that you also need to release and kind of move away from. And so with it being in the sign of Libra, Libra is about other people. Libra is about harmony and balance and fairness and order and all those things. So it's about moving away from those things that have been bringing imbalance, things that have not necessarily shown up in fairness or in order or in a justice type of way. That is that Libra energy. So we're kind of recognizing where we have been kind of compromising or people pleasing, because that's also like a Libra kind of quality. So where we have been doing the people pleasing in areas of our life, and that has been a disservice to us, where we need to really focus on what it is that we truly want, what it is that we truly identify with, right? And so this eclipse happening with the nodes is really emphasizing that wrapping up of that energy to be able to move forward into what it is that we truly need to be, where we need to be, and who we need to be even more so. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, it is going to be the last eclipse of 2024, and it's going to be a potent one because it's making all of these different aspects. All right, so naturally eclipses are potent anyway, right? They're powerful events that happen. They're really like supercharged. It's like a full moon but on steroids, or it's a new moon but on steroids in this case. And so it's kind of also a time for us to set like this reset button to kind of like do checks and balances. And also it helps us to bring things back into balance. It might throw you off the rails. It might derail you just so it can get you back onto the right track. Like you've somehow found your way going east, and now life throws you a curveball, because it's what eclipses bring. They bring like this heavy energy, and now it kind of resets you back into the right path that you're supposed to be going on. So a lot of the times there are going to be kind of like this chaotic, kind of intense vibe that's going on with eclipses, and that's because we are being reset. We are being abruptly put back on the path that we need to be set on. Okay, so it's, you know, putting us back where we need to be, our fated paths. And we can think of it as like the universe's way of redirecting us and making sure that we have not strayed from our true purpose, our true identity, our true focus, our true pathway, right? And so, yeah, with solar eclipses, also, like I said, it's when the sun and the moon are together. They are conjunct. They are in the same sign. So we are in Libra season. The moon is also happening to be in Libra. So that's what creates this new moon solar eclipse energy, because it's also in aspect to the south node. So it's opposite the north node. So it's showing us how far we have come with actually achieving what we need to obtain in that north node Aries energy, and what we need to still work on releasing and letting go. So it's still a wonderful time to kind of like recognize that, not necessarily setting intentions towards achieving anything, just recognizing where fate has you and where you still need to kind of pursue and go. All right. It's very much so about new beginnings. So a lot of new things may happen during this time. We might see that, you know, things that we have been trying to work on, or things that we have been trying to like kind of create and manifest into our lives, are actually coming to fruition. So we might start a new beginning that helps us get back on path, or a new beginning that shows us, okay, we haven't quite yet arrived, but we're almost there. Because these nodes are going to be moving out of Aries and Libra in 2025, and they're going to be entering into Pisces and Virgo, because they go backwards. So kind of keep that in mind also. So with that being said, this is more so an internal expression of things rather than an external shift, right? So because it's with the south node, so the south node is more internal. It's more about, you know, the collective consciousness on an internal level, for you to recognize things internally. So we might see a lot of these things happening on an internal level, or what happens externally really affects us internally. Whereas if it was like the lunar eclipse that happens with the north node, we can kind of see the material side of things, right? Because that is more so about manifesting and creating and achieving and devouring things. So that's the north node energy. So this is going to be more so pertaining to that energy of the internal level, rather than the external material tangible aspect of things. Okay. So For those with personal planets in Libra placements between 1 and like 19 degrees, because since this is happening right there in the middle, right at 10 degrees, I would say anywhere 9 degrees prior to 10 and 9 degrees after to the 10 degrees, you're going to feel it. And by personal planets, I mean, you know, sun, moon, rising, of course, but also your Mercury, your Venus, your Mars. Those are your personal planets. You might recognize that you're being prompted to let go of habits or situations that no longer serve you. They no longer serve your growth. And it's asking you to make space for something brand new. Mars and Cancer, we can feel through the emotions. Trust your intuition, trust your gut, but also practice the pause, right? So that is the overall energy that I have for this eclipse that is happening on October the 2nd. So just kind of keep in mind everything that I said. And before we dive into the readings for all 12 signs, I have a few quick announcements. First and foremost, we have a few new things on our website. So go ahead and check out the website. First off, it's still new. You know, we did a revamp over the summer. So go check that out. October is the birth month of House of Chiron. So we will be celebrating our 6th birthday. Can't believe it. I've been having this open since 2018. This is wild. Okay, so just kind of keep watch for something special that may come out around that time. You know, just found out that the birthday of House of Chiron is a Black Woman Mental Health Day. So that's so on brand, right? So anywho, so that is that. And make sure that you are navigating to our website, not only to check out how cute it is and how redone it is and whatnot, but also to book your readings, get your Reiki, buy your merch, and check out all the new stuff that we have there, okay? All right, make sure that you also navigate because we have a brand new freebie on our site. So go check out that free ebook. It is about 20 something pages of free information. If you are looking to understand your sun, moon, and your rising, you do not want to miss this. Go ahead and go to the website, give me your email, and download it. If you are already on my newsletter, I will be sending this out to you in the October newsletter. So kind of keep that in mind. If you're not on our newsletter, you might want to get it because they get a lot of free stuff and discounts. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. All right. So now let's dive into the readings for all 12 signs. All right. So make sure, just a little recap of how to listen for your most accurate reading. Okay. Keep in mind that I use whole sign astrology. These are going to be general readings. Also, make sure you are listening for all three, your sun, moon, and your rising, so you can get a comprehensive understanding of the energy coming for you, okay? First will be your rising sign. That is the most accurate reading for your sign. It tells you exactly where this energy is happening in your chart, therefore what is being affected in your life, okay? Second will be your sun sign. That is more focused on like your goals, your career, you know, your overall like focus of what it is that you're trying to do. You're focusing your goals, right? And if you are more masculine in energy, this reading for your sun sign might resonate with you more also. And then last but not least will be your moon sign. Your moon sign is more subjective. It is about your internal world. It's more emotional, right? But it also can reflect your home, family life, and your current living situations. And if you are more feminine in energy, then you know, you might resonate more with this one, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? Now, moving on, we're going to start with Aries, sun, moon, and rising. This energy, this Libra eclipse energy is happening in your 7th house, right? So that is the house of relationships, partnerships, agreements, and contracts. It's the house of the best friend, right? So it's highlighting your closest relationships and also your partnerships and just the agreements that you have made, right? So you may feel a pull to kind of like reevaluate, you know, who you are in connection or in an interpersonal dynamic. You might even kind of pull back a little bit to reevaluate like your codependency and where things are not necessarily balanced in favor of one person or the other, where things are kind of off balance in your partnerships, relationships, or maybe even your agreements, right? So if you have an Aries rising, you may be like dealing with a situation in an actual relationship, but you also could be having to renegotiate a contract, having to renegotiate an agreement, or this could be a new beginning where you are embarking on a new relationship. Very karmic, very fated, very destined relationship could be starting in your life between now over the next 6 months or so, right? So like I like to say, you know, the eclipse energy, you can feel it a month before it actually happens. But when it comes to solar eclipses, it pans out for 6 months or so, maybe even longer, right? So you can kind of see that energy. Now, also, this does not matter if it's a romantic relationship. It could be a romantic relationship, true, because the 7th house is the house of marriage, but it also could be a business partnership. It could be a personal relationship, like a platonic friendship that kind of goes to the next level, or an intimate relationship that goes to the next level. So lots of people, they get engaged and or married under the eclipse energy. It's just fated. It just is what it is, okay? So also keep in mind that secrets or unresolved issues may surface. Now, these issues could be coming up because you need to let go. Like it's bringing out the muck, right? Because that South Node energy brings out like the muck and the things that are like really heavy in energy. So that way you can release it, so you can embark on a liberating future. Right? So you may have to kind of bring some things up to the surface in your relationship, okay? So that way you can have a more freeing, liberating, and joyful, harmonious, and balanced relationship moving forward. And the same goes for like an agreement, a contract, or a business partnership, okay? Maybe even a friendship. All right, so just kind of keep in mind that it's pushing you to confront those underlying dynamics in your relationship, so that way you can have, you know, free and clear reign to embark on joy, because we all deserve joy. Now, this is also a powerful time for you to reset, right? Cosmically reset and release anything that is old, any outdated patterns, anything that's preventing you from achieving true balance and harmony in your life or in your relationships. So just be open of even letting go of partnerships, or letting go of an agreement or a contract that no longer serves you. It's kind of like, you know, giving up something, like sacrificing something in order for you to achieve or receive something, okay? Now, moving on to Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. This Libra solar eclipse is happening in your 6th house. So this is the 6th house of health, work, daily routines. It's the house that rules your pets, employees. This is, you know, just your day-to-day activities, the mundane energy of your life. And so with it being in your 6th house, this is like major shift in your work life, but also a major shift in your health routines, as well as just your daily habits, right? Maybe you're going to be getting a new employee, or you're embarking on getting a new job, or you are starting like a new career path, something that's like a shifting kind of energy in your day-to-day habits. So you might feel compelled to change like how you approach wellness, how you approach your job situation, making sure that it's all in balance and it's all harmonious, right? What you do and how you live needs to be in balance. Like you can't be overworking yourself. So some topics regarding burnout might be coming up, where you have to let some things go in order to actually achieve or go after something. So you could be reassessing everything that you do day to day. You could be reassessing your health, what you eat. If you're taking your vitamins, your herbs, your minerals, all your things, if you're drinking enough water, all these things. It could be something just as simple as that, right? That's a major change in how you actually show up and also how you feel. And then maybe you need to reassess your work schedule, or how you work, or how often you work, or where you work, even like who you work with. That could definitely play a major toll in your physical energy, your mental energy, your emotional energy, just who you are in connection with on a day-to-day basis. That is also the 6th house energy for you, Taurus. So things that are like hidden stressors, especially those things that affect your emotional well-being, could come up to the surface. That might come to the light, so that way you can release it and let it go. Even if you are like being a Taurus and don't want change, you know, that energy might come up anyway, and you are being forced to release it. Also use this time to let go of any unhealthy routines, work environments, people. Just let it go. Anything that drains you, just let it go. It ain't worth it. Okay. Focus on more so establishing healthier habits, inviting new habits, inviting new areas of work, new work friends, maybe a new place where you work, or, you know, a new health routine. It's about letting something go, so that way you can create the work-life balance that you truly desire and that supports your overall well-being for your life. Okay. So you might just see that you're embarking on a new way of work, right? And it's more serving you like in a positive light, okay? So that's what I have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Now moving on to Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Libra eclipse is happening in your 5th house, right? So this is the house of creativity and romance and self-expression, right? So this is the house of joy and hobbies also, and it has a lot to do with, not just, children, but yeah, it's children too, right? So some of you might be getting, unexpectedly pregnant during this time. Just kind of keep that in mind. 5th house energy does that. Or you could just be birthing a new baby, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be an actual human. It could be like your new baby is your new business, or, a creative project or something like that. So during this time, you could really be launching these things. It's activating that 5th house, right? So the focus is going to be turning on to matters of the heart, right? Creativity, your personal joy. You might be drawn to really reevaluate creative projects, what brings you joy, what your hobbies are, maybe how you interact with your children, your romantic partnerships, all those kind of things could be coming up. And it's how you express your individuality within these areas, right? So kind of keep that in mind. Now, this is also a really great time for you to have some deep self-reflection about what brings you happiness. Where is your joy? What is it that you can do that brings that joy up to the surface for you, right? That you can always have something that that you can do that will always create happiness and joy for you, right? What are those things? So you might be forced to identify that, or it might come up to the surface that you have not done those things. And so now you're having to sacrifice like something that you've been doing in order to kind of embark on, making sure that you tap into joy, right? And also just being able to experience the romance of life, right? Because it's not just romantic partnerships. It's just like romancing life. Like, my life is great. Those things. So be mindful of old fears, self-doubts that might surface, because also the 5th house has a lot to do with confidence in our courageous spirit, because it's the sun energy. And so it's about time for you to just release anything that's holding you back from being your authentic self and truly embrace your joy and who it is that you are fully, right? So a lot of the Gemini risings could be embarking on a new romantic partnership. You might start dating again, like just say if you've just kind of been like on this sabbatical from dating, you ain't got time for it, you haven't had time for it, or you might be feeling drawn to date again, or you might be feeling drawn to, do your art or your photography or whatever creative expression it is that you have. So it could even be like, since you're a Gemini rising, it could be spoken word, poetry, things like that, writing, creative writing. That could be something that you're really focused on doing, or even just kind of connecting with your children in a completely different way. So these things could all come to the surface, and these are just like examples of how it can manifest for you, okay, Gemini? So moving on to Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This energy is happening in your 4th house. So this Libra eclipse is happening in your 4th house. This is home, family, your emotional foundations. This is, the matriarch kind of energy, the feminine expression. This is about self-care. How do you care for yourself? The things that make you feel comfortable. What happens behind, closed doors, those type of things. So with it being in your 4th house, and don't forget, it's a new moon, so it's a new beginning. So some of you might be moving during this time. You might be looking to move during this time, and it's going to be a new beginning in your home and family life. Maybe even your emotional roots, right? So your roots and your traditions, things like that. You could be embarking on new roots, new traditions that you could be manifesting or creating during this time. So also keep in mind that it's intense, right? It's an eclipse, so there's still that chaotic piece to it. So you might be feeling really stirred up with like past emotional experiences or memories, or even family secrets could come up to the surface. Maybe even like these unspoken tensions within your household could come out. Or, you're recognizing some tension with the mom or the mother energy that's in your life, Kind of keep that in mind that these things could come up. Mars is also in Cancer. So Mars is in your sign, in your 1st house. And so it's adding a little bit of energy to it. It's adding that layer of emotional intensity, making sure that you are not reactive, especially Cancer risings, making sure you're not reactive, right? Urging you to confront any unresolved family issues, right? So this might be a great time for you to have a communication or just like a talk with someone or whoever it is that you may have like an issue with, or, bringing things up to the surface. Use this time to create a more harmonious home environment, but it starts within, right? Because that fourth house is that emotional space, it's that internal world. So it starts within. So checking in to see if you are harmonious, checking in to see if you are balanced. During this time, over the next 3 months, you might find yourself like getting ready to move. So the tension could be coming from like planning the move and where you gonna move and all the communication that's required to do the move, you know, all those things. Even if it means that in order for you to have this new beginning that you have to let go of, you know, an old home or toxic patterns within the home, right? Moving from an old living situation to a new one that feels more supportive, you know, things like that. So just kind of keep that in mind, Cancer, okay? So moving on to Leo, sun, moon, and rising. This Libra eclipse is happening in your third house, right? This is the house of communication, siblings. This is about learning. This is about your neighborhood, your vehicles. This also might be about small business. So just kind of keep in mind, third house energy. Also, it's an eclipse. It's a new moon eclipse. So a new beginning, but you have to let something go in order to achieve or receive something. So this is really governing like the communication. So you might need to communicate. You might need to talk something out, you know, whether it's within your environment, talking to your new, you know, neighbors. That could be happening. Like if you just recently moved, or, you know, maybe talking to your siblings, or you could be getting new developments about your siblings or about those friends that feel like siblings. Just, you know, expect revelations or some type of significant shift to happen in how you communicate and interact with those who are close to you, like in your daily routine, in your daily life. So you also might uncover like hidden information or secrets, right? Because third house is information, communication, right? So you might get, you know, some secret information that could come up, or secrets that really shift your perspective about things, or about people, or about your siblings, or something like that. Some information could come up. And this is a time of letting go of old ways of thinking that limit your growth, right? Be open to receive information. Be coachable is what this is about, right? Be coachable. Be open to learn something new, so that way it can help you grow, because you don't know everything, Leo, okay? So just kind of work on embracing new methods of expressing yourself, and also new methods that could help you align with who it is that you truly are, your true voice, okay? So, got that? All right, moving on to Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. So, this Libra eclipse is happening in your second house, Virgo, and this is the house of finances, right? The money that you make for yourself. It's your income, it's your possessions, it's everything that you own. It's your values, it's your self-worth, it's what you eat, right? It's your taste. So, you know, you might be developing a new taste at this time. You might be developing, you know, new values, and, you know, a sense of self-worth could be coming up also during this time, where you may feel the urge to kind of re-examine what your values are, you know, your relationship with money, your spending habits, or the things that you truly value in life could really just come back up to surface, so that way you can reevaluate and let go of outdated things that no longer align with who you have developed or evolved into, okay? So if you have had any hidden financial issues or insecurities during this time, that might come up to the light. There might be an unexpected bill or unexpected situation that kind of resurfaces or comes up to the surface, to where that way you can kind of like navigate it, handle it head on. Make sure you are handling it head on. Mars is in Cancer and it's telling you to trust your gut, but also make sure you're not reactive when you are responding, right? Don't be reactive, responsive. And so just, you know, telling you to make the necessary adjustments, telling you that, you know, you have to show up in a certain way in order to make this thing help you become liberated. So use this time to release any outdated beliefs about money, and embrace a mindset that supports you in your financial growth, and maybe even just some personal empowerment. You might have to reevaluate your values and also your possessions, right? So, and it could have something to do with money that you share with other people, right? Because if we think about the opposite of your second house is the eighth house, and the shared resources, joint finances, things like that. So it just really also depends on how your individual chart is aspected, but it could have a lot to do with like a new beginning happening, because now you are embarking on a new stream of income, or a new way that you handle money, or even just your values, or maybe even how you connect with other people, okay? So There you go, Virgo. Now moving on to Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your eclipse, Libra. All right, and it's happening in your first house. So this is the house of yourself, your body. This is your identity. This is personal beginnings, things that you are initiating and starting, right? So with this eclipse in your first house, you are showing up as a brand new person. You could be getting seen and perceived in a completely different light, not only by yourself, but by other people, right? Because the first house is first impressions. So this is a personal time of transformation for you, right? It's up to you how you are going to transform and how you're going to evolve, right? So this aspect with this energy is like telling you to reset your identity, right? Embark on how you present yourself to the world in a way that truly aligns with who it is that you are and how you see yourself, right? So how you see yourself and how you want to show up, that's what you are really focusing on. So if that means that you are buying new clothes or that you did this major transformation and you didn't cut all your hair off, you know, all the things, whatever it is, however you want to be seen and perceived, that's that. You might feel an intense desire to really change something that is foundational, right, about yourself, whether it's your appearance, your behavior, your outlook on the world, because it's also first house energy. You know, just kind of making those necessary adjustments so that way you can actually feel fulfilled in who it is that you truly are. Just be prepared for personal revelations that kind of like push you to let go of old self images and embrace a more authentic, more empowered version of yourself. Now, also keep in mind, this is something that's supposed to bring back balance and harmony to you, right? So if this is not bringing back balance and harmony into your life, then that's an indication that's supposed to be let go of, right? There's also that emphasis of healing, right? With Venus being there. Venus is your chart ruler. Venus is there in Scorpio. So it's that element of healing something, healing your values, healing how you see yourself, your self-worth, right? So there's this level of healing that's happening for you, Libra. It goes the same for Taurus energy too. I didn't even think about that until now. So just kind of keep that in mind. You are reinventing yourself. You are showing up brand new. All right. So moving on to Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Libra eclipse is happening in your 12th house. So it's really intense energy for you, Scorpio, but it's more internal. It's more about the mental aspect of things. It's more psychological for you. So this is your subconscious. This is spirituality. This is hidden matters. This is things that are coming undone, right? So this eclipse is falling in your 12th house, and it's a deeply introspective area that governs your subconscious mind. It also governs hidden fears and your spiritual life. So you could definitely be like seeing secrets or suppressed emotions that could be coming up, or maybe even past traumas could be resurfacing, so that way you can attack them head on. It's urging you to confront and heal these things, these aspects of yourself or these aspects of your past, like letting it go, heal it once and for all. Let's, of course, I don't believe that healing is ever ending, but like heal this aspect, heal this part of your journey right now. Like not running from these fears, really address it and tackle it head on. So that way you can feel liberated, you can feel empowered moving forward, right? So it's really an ideal time for like deep introspective work. This has a lot to do with like shadow work for you, Scorpio. And, you know, making sure that you are letting go of any self-sabotaging behaviors and making space for a spiritual renewal that is here to happen for you. So that way it can bring balance and harmony back into your psyche, right? Back into your subconscious, you know, letting go of self-sabotaging behaviors, you know, how you speak to yourself. And, you know, the negative self-talk is something that could also be, you know, happening to be let go of. You know, maybe if you're people pleasing, right, you're focused on other people and not yourself. That is a self-sabotaging martyr behavior, which is very much so 12th house energy. So just kind of letting it go, embracing more spiritual practices. And this is a new beginning. So like you could be embarking on a new beginning of things just coming undone. You could be recognizing like, wow, this used to be and now it is no more. This is a new beginning that's panning out from now over to the next 6 months or so. That's like release, right? Letting stuff go. So just check back in about April. Yeah, I would say April when we have Aries season. Just check back in about April and see how far you've come when it comes to like the psychological aspect and what has actually come undone and been released and let go of, okay? Now, moving on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is happening in your 11th house. So this eclipse is affecting friends, community, your goals and aspirations, your long-term goals, right? This is about like social media also, because, you know, it's the people that you don't know that's on social media. It's like your influence, right? So with the 11th house, you might be embarking on new social networks, new friendships, new goals that you are setting out to achieve. And you might experience these things within your social circle, like that find aspirations, like it help you be motivated and inspired to continuously evolve or to find balance, right? You might be inviting new relationships into your life that bring more harmony and balance to help you achieve your goals, right? So also secrets or hidden tensions among friends could come up to the surface during this time, and that could be prompting you to reconsider what your alliance and who your alliances are. And just, you know, we might be forced to let go of some friends to embark on this new journey of friendships, or people that are just aligned to who it is that you are, your autonomy, your authenticity, right? It's in the 11th house. So it's a time to kind of realign what your communities are, who is in your community, where your community is, and also the goals that you have that genuinely resonate with your evolving vision for your future, because that's what the 11th house is about. What is it that you need to let go of so that way you can actually obtain that vision that you have for your life, right? So if that means you have to let some people go, or people are making a grand exit out of your life, it's like, cool, let it happen, right? Don't fight against it. You know, you are supposed to be embarking on obtaining whatever vision that you have for your life. And if people are holding you back from having that, or they keep reminding you of who you used to be, then maybe you need to go find people that help, that accept you for who you truly are. Okay, so moving on, for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Libra eclipse is happening in your 10th house. This is about career, public image. This is also your ambitions, right? So it happens to be your social status as well. And so it's powerful. So this is like a new beginning when it comes to how you are seen publicly, your career endeavors, and putting a focus not only just on your career, but also your public reputation. A focus is going to come on that, right? Long-term ambitions. And you might feel a strong urge to redefine your professional path or confront, you know, hidden dynamics within your workplace. So old career goals that no longer align with who it is that you are must be done with, must be let go of. So you're going to have to release and let something go to embark on something new that's more aligned with who it is that you are, that brings more harmony and balance into your life, making space for a more fulfilled direction, right? To where you feel like you're in the right direction. Now use this time to reset your ambitions, right? And align with your true purpose. Now also having an eclipse in your 10th house could also indicate marriage, or you know, a shift in your financial status. So that way, like your social status change, right? So you could go from being, you know, just working, you know, in one area. Now you're in the C-suite, right? So you're more in a managerial position. Of course, when that comes, you know, typically the money comes with it. So it changes your social status. You're in a different bracket. So that's just something like an example of how it happens. Also, another way that people have a shift in their social status is that they go from single to married, right? So that also could be something as well. Now, moving on to Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Libra eclipse is happening in your 9th house. So this represents travel, higher education. This is your beliefs. This has a lot to do with your life path, right? Your destiny, what you're supposed to be kind of like navigating and going after. And so with the eclipse being in your 9th house, you know, education is coming to the forefront. What you believe is coming to the forefront. So you could be embarking on a new set of beliefs, kind of learning something new, and not necessarily just about yourself or religious belief, but yes, it could be that, but just learning about the world, getting a broader sense of perspective of like what the world is. And so this is more so like spiritual and intellectual awakening that's happening for you with this eclipse, and it's very powerful and it's very karmic. And you might be called to travel, you know, between now and the next 6 months, travel or study, dive into new philosophies, dive into new spiritual practices. Hidden doubts or outdated beliefs might come to the surface, right? And it's challenging you to expand your mind, right? Embrace new perspectives, gain new experiences so you can have new information about what life is, right? And then release those limiting mindsets, those limiting beliefs, so that way you can open yourself to the vast possibilities that's out here for you, okay? All right, Aquarius. Now, moving on to Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So this Libra eclipse is happening in your 8th house. So this is about transformation. This is about shared resources. This is about intimacy. This is about debts and finances and, you know, money that you get from other people, things like that, money and things that you share with other people. So the Pisces rising, it's associated with like a deep transformation that's happening, right? Because it's psychological things too. It's about the occult, right? So it's like divination work, share finances, intimate bond. So this could be setting like the tone for a new intimate bond to develop, where you are, you know, taking your relationship to the next level. You could be expecting significant changes in how you handle shared resources, debts, or your closest connections could be shifting and changing during this time. So things that have been hidden or secrets, because that 8th house is very much so that energy, could be coming up, right? Things about trust, things about intimacy, things about financial entanglements may be revealed and ultimately resolved, right, later on down the road. But, you know, it's going to be panning out over the next 3 to 6 months. So it's really a powerful time to kind of let go of old fears. Maybe you are going to be losing a little bit of like income, right? Some money that you receive, you're going to be losing an aspect of that money. So that way it can liberate and free you. Maybe you're going to be having to like invest in paying off a debt, and it's going to free you to kind of like have better credit so you can get more, you know, things that you need, or buy a house or something like that. So it's that energy of sacrificing something so that way you can gain something else, okay? So letting go of fears around vulnerability and embracing the healing that comes from like genuine transformative connections. So that's what your focus is going to be with this energy. And also you're going to be seeing it manifest over the next 3 to 6 months. All right, Pisces. So there you have it. That is all that I have for everyone with this Libra solar eclipse that happens at 10 degrees. It's happening on October 2nd, so don't forget that. I always say no need to set intentions, because it is a very karmic energy. This is all about destiny, what is destined to happen, what is fated to happen. So just allow things to just kind of pan out. Plus the energy is very chaotic. So I mean, you can do it, you can do whatever you want, but I personally don't, because, you know, I just allow some things to just be as they should be. And sometimes how things kind of manifest under this intense energy is that it could come out a little bit chaotic, right? The manifestation of it, and it's already enough. So there you have it. Meet me back here. If you have not hit that subscribe button, you might as well do it now, because if you made it this far, it means you like what I had to say. So meet me back here for the October monthly Galactic Gossip podcast. I will be talking about all of the energy that is coming in the month of October, because we are embarking on spooky season. Make sure you navigate your way to my website so you can check out all the new stuff that I have there. And yeah, follow me on all of my social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, of course, YouTube. I am also on Instagram, Facebook. I am now on Threads, and I'm on LinkedIn too. So catch me there. And also join the newsletter, and you will get a free PDF to talk about your sun, moon, and rising. It'll help you understand a lot of what I'm talking about when I'm giving you all these readings. All right. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, time, week, whatever. I will see you all in the month of October. Deuces.